How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, football pundits around the world? It's your boy Adam here live on Couch Sports Football, where we have FA Cup action for you all. Hope you're having a wonderful day. How are you all doing? It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Hope you're having a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. The FA Cup is live here on Couch Sports Football. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. How are you all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Manchester City taking on Burnley FC later on today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. 5 minutes until kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? Let's go. Shot there in the chat. How you doing, Shot? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Where are you from and who do you support? Let me know in the chat. We have Manchester City taking on Burnley here on Cow Sports Football. The student comes home to take on his master, his teacher. Pep may have taught company everything that he knows, but in recent fixtures we've seen that Pep Guardiola has a few new tricks up his sleeve with this new formation that he likes to play. As you can see there on the screen, 3 defenders. He plays 4 defenders, but then he changes it about. He's put, like, Rico Lewis will play in midfield. But how we doing? How we doing, Shot? Where you from and who do you support? Let me know in the chat. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Gary Lineker looks like he's got a cold, you know, man. He sounds like he's got a cold. Is he alright there, my friend? Is he alright there? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Is it still wrong? Is this still wrong? Is this still wrong? Let's see. Yeah, it's still wrong. Oh well, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Saturday night football, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday night football. Live here on Cat Sports Football. How we all doing? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let me know where you're all from. Let me know who you're supporting today. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Hey Jude. Na 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 na. Hey Judy, 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 come out. Let's transition over to the game for you all. How are we all doing? Are we all ready for the game? An FA Cup semi-final for uh, Vincent Company. Is it going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Vincent Company brought them their first Premier League title, and he's coming out to see everyone, shaking hands with everyone that he previously played with, former colleagues, all coming together. And look at that round of applause that he's getting, ladies and gentlemen. Here's to you, Vincent Company. Is there a more celebrated player at Manchester City? Aguero for his moment in that last game against Queen's Park Rangers. David Silva, the magician. Look at him coming out here. Pep Guardiola waits for Vincent Company. He gets the round of applause from everyone. One of the greatest players in their history. Are they not going to show it? Are you being serious? I need it for the gram. I need it for the gram. Just waiting for the moment where the two managers embrace. Vincent Company in the away box at the Etihad. How are we all doing? Where are we all from? Let's give you the Manchester City team news. I don't know how the BBC have got it wrong on their website. They've got Ortega in goal, Walker Diaz, Laporte and Lewis, Rodri, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Alvarez and Foden. With that man, Erling Brandt Haaland playing up top. Let's give you the Burnley team news. Peacock Farrell is in goal. Robert Alderkirk, Bayer Matson, Gudmundsson, Colin, Vitinho, Teller, Foster and Zaruri. A 4-3-3. How are we all doing? Are we ready for FA Cup action? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. And here we go, where the teacher Burnley shooting from right to left. Manchester City from left to right here on Cat Sports Football. ladies and gentlemen. Manchester City in their blue kit, Burnley in their black kit. Let's have a good game of football. How are we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the stream here with Burnley on the ball. Peacock Farrell with a long ball out to the left-hand side towards Zaruri. Can't keep it in play. Handball is the call. Oh, now they change it, the knobheads. Oh no, they still haven't changed it. Oh well, it is what it is. How we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go with Manchester City on the ball with Diaz into the path of Ortega, coming into the side over Edison, headed away by Matson, and it goes out for a City throwing here down this left hand side. Manchester City now bringing the ball forward here. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. Nope, I didn't want to do that either. Watch live. We want to watch live. Manchester City on the ball here with Diaz. All the way back to Laporte. Back into the side. Goes into Lewis. Lewis into Rodri. Rodri on the centre circle. Finds Alvarez, who goes all the way back to Laporte. And Laporte goes all the way back to Ortega here on this left-hand side. Burnley pressing high up the pitch. Rodri loses the ball there to Vitinho. But it manages to fall all the way back to Ortega, and he switches it out to the right side towards Mahrez. He brings the ball under control, but it goes out for a Burnley throwing here down this left-hand side. Burnley pressing Manchester City into a few errors today. Matson, the left back for Burnley, to take the throw and goes into Bayer. All the way back to the keeper, Farrell. Out to the left-hand side towards Zaruri. But he's out. And it goes out for a Man City throw where Kyle Walker will step over to take it all the way back to Ortega. On the ball here, on the penalty spot here on the left-hand side. Manchester City 0, Burnley 0 here. Ortega spreads the ball over the top towards Erling Haaland. But it's headed away by El Dakhil. Comes out to Foden. Will he keep it in play? He can't. Goes out for a Burnley throwing. How are we all doing? Welcome to the stream. Let's give you Manchester City on the ball here. Sorry, Burnley on the ball here with Peacock Farrell, the keeper. Floats one high up top towards Diaz. He manages to clear it away. Falls to Haaland on the halfway line. Manages to find Foden on the left-hand side. Advantage played. Alvarez makes a run in behind. Foden holds onto it. Rico Lewis on the ball. Looks like taking his hair off. Rodri forced to go into the path of Laporte. Here we go with Haaland into Foden on the left-hand side. Haaland carries on with his run. Goes into Laporte. Laporte can't find Foden. It goes out for a Burnley throwing here on the right side. 5 minutes played. Manchester City 0, Burnley 0 here on Couch Sports Football. How are we all doing? Welcome to the stream. Here we go with Rodri. Alvarez high up top, headed away by Burnley. Comes to Rico Lewis down this left hand side. Into Alvarez, Rodri. Into the path of Rico Lewis on the halfway line. Comes backwards to Laporte. Diaz. All the way back to the keeper here down this left hand side. Long ball over the top towards De Bruyne. He manages to bring the ball under control. Gets away from the defender. Feeds it into forward. First time into Alvarez. Down the left hand side. He holds the play up here. Looking for some movement. Can Foden keep it in play? It does. It comes out to Rodri, who takes a shot from distance and is blocked. Riyad Mahrez will try and get there here on the right side, but it goes out for a goal kick. Long ball over the top to the Shine side. Laporte to Lewis into the path of Alvarez on the left hand side. He puts his head down and brings the ball forward. He's got Haaland and Ford alongside him, but he switches it out to Riyad Mahrez here down the Shine side. Holds onto the ball, but he can't get away from the defender. And it's cleared away. Kevin De Bruyne tries to keep it alive. Riyad Mahrez does well to hold on to it here. Manchester City nil, Burnley nil. 8 minutes played. Throwing to Burnley down the line. Can't fall to Teller. And it falls to Rodri. Rodri into the path of Rico Lewis here on the left hand side. Holds onto the ball here. Into the path of Laporte. Laporte goes all the way back to the keeper. And it's Ortega now. Feeds the ball out to the right side towards Kyle Walker, being pressed. And he's forced to go back to Diaz. Kevin De Bruyne all the way back to Ortega. Ortega holds onto it. Foster comes over to apply some pressure. Diaz. Laporte back to Ortega on the penalty spot for Manchester City, holding onto the ball. Rico Lewis into the path of Diaz. Burnley pressing high the pitch. Walker forced to go backwards to Diaz. Goodmanson is very high the pitch here for Burnley. You see him pressing with 5 players, Goodmanson and Teller central. Vitinha and Zaruri out wide. Foster through the middle. Manchester City clear it down the line. It falls to the Al Dakhil. Holds onto the ball. He manages to find the Burnley player. Can they keep it in play here? Roberts goes down off the ball. The referee gives the Burnley free kick and Roberts starts the game off. Peacock Farrell hits the ball down the line. Headed away by Kyle Walker. Rodri brings the ball under control here in the Burnley half. And he goes backwards to Diaz on the centre circle. Diaz into the path of Walker. Walker all the way back to the keeper Ortega. Ortega to Laporte on the left hand side, being pressed by Vitinha. Manages to find the pass to Foden, but Roberts is there and he brings Foden down. The referee pulls it back for a Manchester City free kick. And Roberts thinks he was a bit unlucky there. How are we all doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Adam here live on Cat Sports Football. 10 minutes into the game, Manchester City nil, Burnley nil here on Cat Sports Football. How are we all doing? Where are we all from and who do we support? Are we Burnley fans? Are we Manchester City fans? Are we Premiership fans? Championship fans? Champions League fans? Serie A, La Liga? Doesn't matter where you're from. If you enjoy football, this is the platform for you. So get in the chat, say hello, and let's talk some football. Ortega on the ball here on this left-hand side. Manchester City fielding a very strong squad. Ortega tries to feed Alvarez down the left-hand side, but it's just overhit. And Roberts manages to go all the way back to the keeper, and he'll just clear it away. Flicked on there by Zaruri. Foster can't get there, and Diaz will let it go back to Ortega. Rodri first time into Diaz down the left-hand side. And he goes all the way back to Ortega. Manchester City nil. Burnley nil. Ortega with the clearance. Morris flicks it on, but Haaland's not there. And Bayer goes all the way back to the keeper. Peacock Farrell here on the right side. Cleared away. Peacock Farrell into the stands, and it goes out for a Manchester City throwing. Taken quickly. Laporte now on the ball here. Rodri bringing the ball forward. Diaz forced to go all the way back to Ortega here on this left-hand side. Holding onto the ball, and he spreads it out to that left-hand side towards Foden, but Roberts is there. Foden manages to hold onto the ball and bring Alvarez into play. Alvarez now bringing the ball forward here. Gets away from the midfielder, switches it out to Riyad Mahrez down the right side, who's one-on-one against the defender. Can he get the pair of him? He's forced to go backwards to Kyle Walker into the path of Kevin De Bruyne. Tries to feed it first time into Mahrez, but it's ricocheted off the player, and it falls to Rodri now on the ball. Diaz on the ball. Forced to go backwards to Laporte. First time into Rodri. This is all in the Burnley half. Burnley very compact when Manchester City have the ball in their half. But the moment they go back to Ortega, they push up high. You can see Vitinha, Foster, Goodmanson, and Zaruri applying the pressure high up top. Ortega switches it out to Walker, but his header into Mahrez is intercepted. It falls back to Walker. De Bruyne, first time into Mahrez. Mahrez now brings it central into Rodri on the centre circle. He's got Laporte down the left-hand side, but he holds onto the ball. Here we go with Ruben Diaz here down his left-hand side. Into the path of Laporte, and Laporte feeds the ball over the top towards Phil Foden on the left-hand side. Foden now one-on-one against Roberts. Forced to go backwards to Rico Lewis. First time into Alvarez. Tries the flick on. Rico Lewis can't get there, but he falls to Foden. Foden with a ball into box is over De Bruyne. Sorry, over Haaland. And Burnley managed to clear it away. But it falls to Walker, and Walker goes back to Diaz on the centre circle. Spreads it out to the right side towards Riyad Mahrez, but he's not on the same wavelength. And it goes after a Burnley throwing here down the right side. 13 minutes played. Manchester City nil, Burnley nil here on Couch Sports Football. How are we doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Throwing here, where we have Matson to take it, headed on by Rodri. De Bruyne brings the ball under control. He spins the defender, but he can't find the pass, and it falls to Rico Lewis. Here we go with Alvarez down this left-hand side, bringing the ball forward here. One-on-one against Vitinha, goes around the outside. He holds on to the ball. 1-2 with Foden. Backwards to Rico Lewis. City moving the ball back. Goes all the way back to Ruben Diaz. Steps up, and he goes into Walker, and Walker goes all the way back to Rodri. Rodri into the path of Laporte. Laporte finds De Bruyne into space, and he has now time to turn and bring it forward. Threads it into the path of Alvarez, but Al-Dakhil is there. Good defending. Roberts is there, and they managed to clear it away for a Manchester City throwing down that left-hand side. Manchester City nil. Burnley nil here. Rico Lewis steps over to take the throwing here. Alvarez. All the way back to Laporte. Laporte into Diaz on the centre circle. Bringing the ball forward here. Goes out to that left-hand side towards Laporte. Laporte into Rico Lewis. First time into Alvarez, who takes on the turn. His pass is intercepted. And here we go with Burnley. Can they counter here? Vitinho bringing the ball forward here. Gets away from Rodri. Brings it central. Switches it out to the left-hand side towards Zaruri, but it's intercepted. It's now Manchester City who'll come away with it here. Alvarez into the path of Foden. Rico Lewis makes a run off the ball, but Foden switches it out towards Mahrez. It's intercepted there by Madsen, but it comes out to Walker down the right side. Riyad Mahrez coming deep to pick up the ball into Rodri, who takes him the turn out to the right side towards Walker. Mahrez makes overlapping run and he finds him backwards to Rodri. Rodri into the middle finds Rico Lewis back to Rodri. He's forced to go backwards to Diaz. Burnley pressing him all the way back to Ortega here down this left hand side. Manchester City 0, Burnley 0. How are we all doing? Teller with the most goals for Burnley this season with 17. Can he be the spark that helps this Burnley side? Matson and Goodmanson with 6 assists each. Brownhill's not playing. I think he's injured. His mistake at the back there by Manchester City, and Foster gets himself into the box here. Rico Lewis is tracking back. Foster holds onto the ball. He's got Zaruri to his left and he finds him. 1-on-1 against Rodri. Gets away from him, but Mahrez is there tracking back and it goes out for a throwing here down the left-hand side. And Burnley getting a bit lucky there. Manchester City just allowing Burnley to push up the field, intercepting a misplaced pass by Ortega. And it's Matson now to take the throwing here down the left-hand side. All the way back to Bayer. Al-Dakir on the ball. Peacock Farrell, the keeper, goes into the middle there towards Goodmanson. Goodmanson into Al-Dakir. Bayer now on the ball here on the Shrine side. Switches it out to the Shrine side towards Matson, who finds Zaruri. Zaruri puts his head down and brings the ball forward here, and he switches it out to that right side towards Vitinho. Vitinho has Roberts alongside him. What's he going to do? He's going to go for a shot, and Ortega's forced to make a save, and it goes out for a throw-in. Yo, who's paying? Kaistri there in the chat. How you doing, Kaistri? It's Manchester City against Burnley in the FA Cup quarter-finals today. How are we doing? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Here we go with a corner for Burnley down the left-hand side on the 18th minute. Manchester City 0, Burnley 0. Burnley to take the corner. Whipped in towards the back post. It's headed away by Laporte. He's still ricocheting around the box. But they managed to clear it, Burnley, but they try and keep it alive down the left-hand side. And it falls to Zaruri, puts the ball into the 6-yard box where there's no one there for Burnley. And it's easy for Ortega to gather it in his hands. But how are you doing, Kaistri? I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Here we go with Ortega now on the ball here on the left-hand side. 18 minutes played. Floats it out to the right side towards Walker, who flicks it on towards Mahrez, but it's cleared away, and it'll go all the way back to Bayer, but Bayer's forced to head it. Al-Dakil manages to get there. Goodmanson high up top towards Zaruri. Kyle Walker will just try and hold on to the ball here. What's he going to do this time? Kyle Walker lets it go out for a throwing here on his left-hand side. "19 minutes played. Intercepted from the throwing. Zaruri goes into the path of Al-Dakir on the Shrine side. Bayer on the ball. Bringing the ball forward here. Gets away from Alvarez. Goes all the way back to Peacock Farrell down the Shrine side. And Burnley restart the game here. Into the path of Matson. But he can't keep it in play, and it goes out for a throwing here for Manchester City. I saw fireworks today, Sound. Did you? What were the fireworks for, Sound? Ortega plays a 1-2 with Laporte here on this after side. 20 minutes played. Ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City nil, Burnley nil here on Couch Sports Football. I'm good. Finally found a job, but the hours are terrible, so I'm catching up on sleep. You do what you gotta do to make that money. You gotta do the graft. You gotta do those hours. If it's not right for now, just use it to make the money until you find the next best thing. Here we go with Laporte on the ball on the left-hand side. Alvarez on the center circle loses the ball there to Foster. Foster into Vitinho, but he couldn't control it, and Man City win it back with Alvarez. There's just a bit of a complacency in the passing here by Manchester City. They're playing as though they've already won the game, but they need to be careful. Here we go with Rodri on the ball now, bringing the ball forward, switches it over the top, but it's cleared away by Bayer. Zaruri now, backwards, and it's a free kick here for Burnley. Zaruri brought down by Walker, and it's a free kick here on the side on the 21st minute. Manchester City nil, Burnley nil. 21st minute here. Matson on the ball. Goes all the way back to Bayer. Bayer to Peacock Farrell. Mahrez comes over to apply some pressure. He hits it high up top towards Zaruri, who holds onto the ball and sees a run over the top by Vitinho. Is he onside? We'll have to wait and see. Kyle Walker's tracking back. Vitella on the ball now. Cuts in on his right foot into the path of Zaruri. Zaruri one-on-one against Rodri into the middle there. Finds Goodmanson into the path of Teller. One-on-one against Kyle Walker. He's normally the goal scorer, but we'll see what he can do. Backwards to Matson. Bayer finds Teller there, but he's good defending there by Diaz, and it goes out for a corner down the left-hand side. 22 minutes played. Burnley have come to play football, ladies and gentlemen. Burnley have come to play football. Ruben Diaz forced to make a sliding challenge in the box, and Burnley win a corner on the 22nd minute here. Burnley to take the corner. Manchester City may need to put a little bit more respect in this game. A bit of complacency coming in their passing. And Burnley should try and capitalise. Zaruri with a corner back post. Heading towards goal, but Laporte is there. Again, back into the box. Can they keep it alive? But Ortega's there to gather in his hands. And Man City will restock quickly on the 23rd minute. Foden brings the ball under control, but he's brought down. And it's going to be a free kick here for Manchester City. Roberts bringing him down. And he needs to be careful, Roberts. He's done that a few times against Phil Foden. Maybe the next one's the yellow card. Manchester City nil, Burnley nil. How are we all doing? Let me know your opinions of the game, ladies and gentlemen. And also the Champions League. We had the Champions League draw where we had some tasty fixtures drawn. Manchester City against Bayern Munich, Real Madrid against Chelsea, Inter Milan against, Napoli against AC Milan. That's an Italian draw there. So we've had a few tasty ties drawn in there. In the Europa League, Manchester United against Sevilla. So a few tasty ties. Here we go with Ortega on the ball on the 24th minute. Feeds the ball over the top towards Foden on the left-hand side. Roberts will track back, but Foden gets there ahead of him. Roberts will try and get away from him, but Foden manages to hold on to the ball here. Gets himself onto the edge of the box, but it's overhit. And Foden goes down here. Foden goes down after releasing the ball. He holds onto his foot. Haaland there talking to the ref. Again, Roberts goes in for a challenge and on Rico Lewis this time. Yeah, I'm just thankful to find work and after COVID and all that. Kai Street, you do you, my brother. I'm telling you, you did great getting that job. Build on it. And hopefully it's the start of a journey. 25 minutes played here. Manchester City nil. Burnley nil. Here we go with Alvarez on the centre circle. Takes a shot from distance, but it's blocked. It comes out to Riyad Mahrez here on the right side. And he'll let it go out for a corner here. Burnley have a free kick here. Manchester City nil, Burnley nil. Free kick here where we have Cullen stepping over to take it. All the way back to El Dakhil. Roberts back to El Dakhil here on the right side. Left foot over the top towards Roberts. And sorry, Foster. And Foster just doesn't have the pace, does he? He just doesn't have the pace. He's like a Valvecos, isn't he? He's just there. Here we go with Ortega to take restart the game. He goes into Alvarez with a missed kick, but manages to find him. Laporte goes on the back to Ortega here on the left hand side. Ortega to the right side towards Walker. First time into Mahrez. Back to Walker on the halfway line. Into the pass of De Bruyne. First time into Rodri. Walker on the centre circle. He's got Alvarez and Rico Lewis. Who's he going to go to? He comes out to the right side towards Riyad Mahrez. He brings the ball under control. Kevin De Bruyne is ahead of him. Goes backwards to Rodri. Rodri on the turn. Gets away from Zaruri. His pass is intercepted. And his teller into Zaruri. But his pass is intercepted. And it falls to Kyle Walker, who gets away from Zaruri. Here we go with Rodri now on the ball. Back to Kyle Walker. Approaching the 30th minute here. Diaz up top, but it's headed away by Bayer. It comes to Foster on the centre circle. Tries to feed it out wide towards Vitinho. Teller will charge it down against Laporte. It goes all the way back to Ortega. And again, Vitinho will charge it down, but it's cleared away by Ortega. Riyad Mahrez is allowed to bring the ball under control, and he finds Kevin De Bruyne bringing the ball forward into the path of Foden down the left hand side. Puts the ball into the box towards Haaland, who wins the header, but he misdirects it, and it falls to Roberts, the right back, who clears it away. Laporte now on the ball. Alvarez now on the ball. Out to the right side towards Riyad Mahrez. 1-on-1 against Matson. Goes down the left-hand side. He manages to find the pass into Alvarez. Gets himself onto the right foot. Great defending then. It goes all the way back to the keeper here. 30th minute played. Manchester City nil, Burnley nil. Peacock Farrell to restart the game here on his right side. Bayer plays it into Matson, who goes backwards to Bayer, holding onto the ball. Alvarez and Haaland applying some pressure, and Foden El Dakhil goes out to the right side towards Vitinho. He holds onto the ball. And he's forced to go backwards to Roberts. Roberts into the path of El Dakhil here on the right side. Peacock Farrell on the ball on the 6-yard box. Goes into Matson, who's bringing the ball forward here. He's got 3 players to aim for. Which way is he going to go? He goes down the left-hand side, but Walker's there. And Man City will restart. Gets away from Matson, but he can't get away from Bay, and it goes up for a Burnley throwing here. 31 minutes play. Walking on the halfway line from the throwing. Goes all the way back to Diaz. Diaz into Rodri. And Rodri goes all the way back to the keeper here on this left-hand side. Craig Bellamy there having a word with the 4th official this time. Long ball up top towards Haaland, who manages to win the header into the path of Alvarez. Threaded pass towards Haaland. Can he get there? He gets there ahead of the keeper. And he toe pugs it into the back of the net. And it's Manchester City 1, Burnley 0. And for all the passing that Manchester City have done, it's a long ball over the top towards Haaland. Headed into the path of Alvarez, who returns it back to him. And Haaland gets there ahead of the keeper and makes it 1-0 here. Burnley have been brilliant in this game so far, but it takes a moment, a lacking concentration, just a moment. And Haaland splits the defenders. Matson's not tracking back. Roberts doesn't sense the danger. Al-Dakhil and Bayer can't get there. And Haaland gets there ahead of the keeper and makes it 1-0 here on Cal Sports Football. He's chucking it down here in Manchester. Hello, Adam. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Caloric, when you come by, my day gets better. How are you doing, Caloric? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Intercepted by Foster here on the centre circle. It falls to Goodmanson into the path of Zaruri down the center side. Matson carries on with the run, but Zaruri comes central into the path of who's that? Number 14? Cullen. Plays a 1-2 with Matson. Good now. This game is good game so far. It has been a good game. Manchester City have been a bit complacent with their passing, but they've got the vital first goal on the 32nd minute. "34 minutes played. Manchester City 1, Burnley 0. Oh, and Manchester City break away with Foden on the left side into the middle towards Haaland, and he makes it 2-0 here on Cal Sports Football. And as the rain comes down in Manchester, the floodgates have opened at the Burnley back, and Manchester City are 2 goals up here in 35 minutes. That's 2 goals in 3 minutes, and Vincent Kompany is shell-shocked here. Manchester City 2, Burnley 0, and again, it's just a ball over the top. Kevin De Bruyne threads it in behind Foden, who gets there behind Roberts, and he puts it on a plate to Haaland, and Haaland this time left foot into the back of the net and makes it 2-0 here on Cal Sports Football. Here we go with Burnley now on the pole with Goodmanson. Goes all the way back to Matson on the shine side. Haaland is currently on goal number 41 here on Cal Sports Football. Matson on the pole. 37 minutes played. Peacock Farrell on the 6-yard box. Up top towards Matson. He tries to flick on, but it falls to Rodri. Rodri plays a 1-2 with Cal Walker all the way back to Diaz. And it falls to Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne on the ball. Look, puts his head up for a pass, but there's no one there. He goes to Cal Walker. And he goes all the way back to Diaz on this left-hand side. Here we go with Laporte on the ball on the left-hand side. Bringing the ball forward here. Manchester City forced the throwing down the shine side. Manchester City lose the ball and it falls to Matson. Can Burnley pull one back here? Out to the left-hand side towards Foster. Foster has Zaruri. Zaruri now one-on-one against Walker. Which way is he going to go this time? He goes on the right-hand side and his cross is over here and he goes out for a goal kick here on this left-hand side for Manchester City. 40th minute here on Cal Sports Football. Manchester City can't win the ball down the left-hand side. But it goes out for a Burnley throwing here. Taken by Roberts. There's a player's gone out and down off the ball there. Rico Lewis and Teller battling it out there. The referee's just having a word with them. Peacock Farrell. Into the path of Foster, who goes all the way back to Aldakhil. Roberts now on the ball. Threads it in between the lines towards Vitinho, who's brought down. Free kick Burnley. 41 minutes played. Roberts now. All the way back to the keeper, Aldakhil. Peacock Farrell to Bayer. Bringing it out of his own box. Burnley trying to play off on the back here. And he does well to get away from 3 Manchester City players. Bayer's been held onto by Rodri. And he manages to find a pass out to that right side towards Vitinho. And his pass is wasted. And Man City now come away with the ball. With the ball over the top towards Kevin De Bruyne down the left-hand side. Is he going to keep it in play here? It is chucking it down. He's going to have a hard time. But he loses the ball to Aldakhil, who does well. And it's Roberts now on the ball. Here we go with Foster now in the centre circle. Has time to turn. He's got Zaruri down the centre side, but it's a misplaced pass and it allows Walker to track back and force the throwing here. Misplaced pass by Ortega. Finds Vitinho down the right side. Goes back to Roberts. And it goes all the way back to Roberts. Roberts on the ball here. Into the path of Aldakhil. Threads it in towards Foster, but he leaves it to Teller. Teller does well to get away from Ruben Diaz, and he spins away from Kevin De Bruyne, who manages to win the ball back. Here we go with Foden. Teller's tracking his run, and he wins the ball back. But the referee pulls it back for a free kick. I thought he won the ball there. I'll be honest with you. Goal kick here on the try side for Burnley on the 44th minute. Manchester City 2, Burnley 0. Peacock Farrell now to restart the game here for Burnley on the try side. Short to Aldakhil. Bayer now on the ball. 1 minute of added time here. Roberts now on the ball. He's got Vitinho to his right, but he goes into the path of Goodmanson. Cullen now on the ball. Backwards to Aldakhil. Trying to bring the ball forward. Goes short to Bayer. Bayer now on the ball. Zaruri makes a run off the ball, but he's not. He holds on to it. Bayer looking for a pass out to the centre side towards Matson. Rico Lewis is tracking back, so is Riyad Mahrez. He goes into the path of Bayer. Bayer all the way back to El Dakhil on the centre circle. Roberts. El Dakhil. Matson. Bringing the ball forward into the Man City half. He's got Zaruri to his left and he finds him. Walker's tracking back. He gets away from Walker. Returns the pass to Matson. Is there another opportunity? Shot saved by Ortega. Rico Lewis with the header away. Vitinha will try and keep it alive here on that right side. Foden's tracking back and the referee blows for half time here on Car Sports Football. And it's Manchester City 2, Burnley 0 here. Goals by Haaland. Let me see you in the second half. Stay tuned. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Second half coming up here on Cal Sports Football. Manchester City taking on Burnley, and Erling Haaland is on a hat trick, ladies and gentlemen, and this could be hat trick number 6 this season. How are we all doing? Manchester City now shooting from right to left, Burnley from left to right, and Burnley have made a double substitution, if I recall correctly. Let's just check who it is that who's come on. So Goodmanson and Foster have come off for Barnes and Cork. So it's just a bit of bit of roughhousery. Is that how you want to say it? A bit of roughness. Cork going into centre back, and Ashley Barnes through the middle. Cork on the ball now. Goes back to Roberts. Roberts clears the ball down the line, headed away by Rodri into the path of Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne can't get away from Vitinha, but he manages to win the ball back. Kevin De Bruyne, he gets away from him. He's brought down, and that's going to be a Manchester City free kick down the left hand side. Manchester City 2, Burnley 0. Erling Brandt Haaland, ladies and gentlemen, is sensational right now. Phenom is the word that I keep using, and it's the word I'll keep using. 41 goals in a season, 2 goals today, 7 goals this week. Rico Lewis now into the path of Morez, left foot into the back post towards Holland. It's headed away. Rico Lewis will try and keep it alive. Foden will get there here on the left hand side. Goes back to Kevin De Bruyne, and he goes all the way back to Ortega here on the right hand side. Walker back to Ortega. Burnley managed to play out from the back, and it goes out to that left hand side towards Zaruri. Goes backwards. Cork all the way back to the keeper, Peacock Farrell. Matson goes all the way back to Bayer. Long ball over top to that left-hand side towards Zaruri. Looking for some options. He gets away from Riyad Mahrez, but he lays it into the path of Roberts. Roberts now turns. He's got Vitinho down the right side. 1-on-1 against Foden. What's he going to do this time? He goes backwards to Cork. First time into Cullen. Tries to feed the ball forward. Headed away by Laporte. Rico Lewis is there, but it goes off the Burnley man and it goes out for a throwing here down the right side. Sorry, goal kick here down the right side. Long ball over the top, but it's cleared away. And it goes out for a Manchester City free throwing, sorry. Rico Lewis steps over to take it. Into Kevin De Bruyne. He's forced to go back to Laporte, and Laporte goes all the way back to Ortega. Kevin De Bruyne won't be happy with Rico Lewis's pass there. Ortega into the path of Laporte here on the right side. 2-0 is the score on the 50th minute here on Couch Sports Football. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? Where are we all from and who do we support? Are we Manchester City fans? Are we Burnley fans? Are we Erling Haaland fans? Let me know in the chat with the ball over the top towards Alvarez here on the right side. Can he get there ahead of Bayer? Yes, he does. Alvarez whips the ball into the box, but it's over everyone. Foden will try and keep it alive. Claims for a handball and he gets it. And there's a free kick here in a very dangerous position for Manchester City. 50th minute played. De Bruyne to take the free kick. Is he going for goal? He's got Phil Foden there. Is he going for goal or is Phil Foden going to whip one in? Is it the right foot of Foden or the left foot of... Sorry. Is it going to be the right foot of Kevin De Bruyne or is it going to be the left foot of Phil Foden? Let's find out. De Bruyne lines it up. Foden lines it up as well. Which way is it going to go? Let's find out here. 51st minute. Is Kevin De Bruyne right foot? And it just kept going and going and going. No replay for that, BBC? Referees pulled it back here for a Manchester City free kick down the right side. Rodri into the path of Laporte. Ortega down the 6-yard box. Clears the ball high up top. Haaland flicks it on, but there's no one there for City. Bayer into the path of El Dakhil. Goes back to Peacock Farrell. Up top towards Matson. Riyad Mahrez wins the ball and it falls to Alvarez. Alvarez takes it on the turn. Tries to feed it first time in towards Haaland, but it's intercepted. Riyad Mahrez manages to win it back here. Backwards to Rodri. Rodri left foot into the box towards Foden. Heads into the path of Haaland. But El Dakhil is there. Foden manages to win it back. Rico Lewis down the ball. Back to Rodri on the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side towards Kevin De Bruyne. Foden makes a run in behind, but Kevin De Bruyne holds on to it. Gets away from Vitinha. Makes its way all the way to Ruben Diaz. Into Alvarez. Rodri. Out to Foden on the left-hand side. 1-on-1 against Roberts. Backwards to Kevin De Bruyne. Holds the ball up here. Into the middle, finds Rodri. Rodri Floats it over the top towards Kyle Walker down the right side. He tries to feed it first time. Morris is there and his shot is saved. And is cleared away. Rodri tries to keep it alive, but the referee pulls it back for a Burnley free kick here down his left-hand side. Morris with an opportunity to make it 3-0, but is saved by the keeper. I think it was just straight at him. Didn't really have to do anything. Come on, Burnley, scuba culture there in the chat. Here we go with Rodri lining one up from distance, but maybe not. Maybe not. But how you doing, scuba culture? Welcome to the stream. You know what? Burnley in the first half had their opportunities, and with just a little bit of quality and a little bit more, accuracy in their passing, they could have been up. Enjoyed that Spurs draw. I'm going to be watching Match of the Day tonight to find out. I heard Antonio Conte went on a rant earlier today, so I want to watch that. Diaz gets there for the header. Kevin De Bruyne just clears it down the line. Haaland will try and get there, but Al Dakhil manages to find a pass. Can Ashley Barnes get there? No, he can't. Ortega will clear it down the line, and it's a foot race here. And Haaland's got the pair of him here. 1-on-1 against Al Dakhil. Cuts in on his left foot. Gets away from him. Is this the hat trick? No, it's not. It's saved by the keeper. And Burnley get away with that one on the 55th minute. But Kyle Walker intercepts it high the pitch and he gets away from the challenge. He's got 5 players to aim for. He gets it in the box. Alvarez can't head it towards goal, and Burnley managed to clear it away. And it goes out for a Man City throwing here on the halfway line. Are you believing right now, Scuba Culture, is my question. Do you believe? Do you believe is the question. Is this the year for Arsenal? I'm still worried we botched it up in the last few games, so I'm preparing myself for second. I'll be honest with you, I was We'll carry on talking. Here we go with Kyle Walker on the right side. First time into Alvarez. Alvarez with a shot blocked. Man City will keep alive with Kyle Walker. He'll float it into the box, but it's cleared away by Burnley. But only for Rodri to pick it up down the right side. First time into Mahrez. Mahrez holds onto the ball back to Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne makes a run in behind, but he goes all the way back to Ortega on the ball. So the ones that I feel like the ones that Arsenal need to be careful about. Leeds is one that it's just so Leeds and Liverpool is back-to-back games, and I feel like it's just one of those where you don't know what's gonna happen. Leeds could be unbelievable like they were today, or they could be absolutely shocking. Liverpool, we've seen Liverpool 7-0 against United, and then they lose 5-2 against Real Madrid. They lose 1-0 against Bournemouth, so you don't know what kind of Liverpool team are gonna show up. West Ham Arsenal, that's a derby. Form goes out the window. But is that in between Champions Europa Conference, I think, for West Ham? So is that something that they think about? Here we go with a corner for Man City. Riyad Mahrez floats it in there for them with a head on. But straight to the hand of Peacock Farrell. Yeah, tough games ahead for sure. Then you've got another game against Man City, and then a derby straight after that against Chelsea. You still got Newcastle and Brighton, and Nottingham Forest, who play at home. Nottingham Forest at home are much better than they are away. So that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. 8 games that you have that are going to be huge, that are going to decide your season. What's going to happen? I have no idea. No idea. Here we go with Kevin De Bruyne in the centre circle. Into the path of Riyad Mahrez down the right side. He's got Alvarez ahead of him. Tries to feed Haaland. Manages to find a pass back to Mahrez. Into Foden. 1-on-1 against the keeper. It's saved by the keeper. Oh, but it falls to Erling Braut Haaland, who gets his hat-trick, ladies and gentlemen. That's hat-trick number 6 in the season on Cavs Sports Football. How many goals is he going to end up on? 42 goals this season, ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to be 50? Is it going to be 55? 60? How many goals? Just so you know, guys, the record for the most goals scored in English football is by George Cancel, who scored 9 in the 1925 and 26 season. Is he going to get 9 hat-tricks this season? Is he going to get 60 goals this season? We have no idea. But one thing's for sure, ladies and gentlemen, Erling Braut Haaland is a phenom. He's there in the right place at the right time. He's always reacting first, and he gets his 3rd goal of the game. That's goal number 8 this week, ladies and gentlemen. Goal number 8 in 1 week. I'd love to know what the stat is for the most goals scored in 1 week. 5 against RB Leipzig, 3 against Burnley. Madness. Absolute madness. Hat-trick number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Mahrez tries to keep the ball in play here on the right side. Cuts it back into the path of Rodri. Rodri holds onto the ball into Foden. Foden back to Rodri. Diaz on the ball. Wow. 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. 4-0. 4-0. 61st minute here. Here we go with Alvarez on the ball, feeds it into Foden on the centre circle, into Mahrez down that right side, 1-on-1 against the defender, into the path of Kevin De Bruyne, who's in behind. He takes his first step, he passes it into Alvarez, and that's a tap-in for Manchester City, and it's 4-0 here on Cavs Sports Football. And as I said in the first half, the floodgates have opened, but ladies and gentlemen, it's blown wide open now. Oh my God. Kai Street 3-0 is 4-0 now. Alvarez has made it 4. Dude is playing with cheat mode on. He's playing it. He's playing training. He's training right now. Madness. Manchester City 4. How many hat tricks for the season now? 6, Scuba Culture. That's 6 hat tricks in the season. He has scored 8 goals this week alone. The record for that most hat tricks in one season is 9, set back in 1926, I think it was. Is it 26 or 29? 1926 by George Campbell, whoever that is, who scored 9 hat tricks. He's on goal number 42 this year, ladies and gentlemen. He scored more goals on his own. He scored more goals on his own than Southampton, Bournemouth, West Ham, Everton, Leicester, Nottingham, Leeds, Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Fulham, Chelsea, Newcastle. That is mad. Here we go with De Bruyne. Sorry, Alvarez down to Palmer down his left side. Kevin De Bruyne makes overlapping run, but Palmer whips a beautiful ball into the box. Calvin Phillips keeps it alive. Here we go with Gomez. Back to Laporte, and he goes all the way back to the keeper. It's crazy stuff. How many goals do you think he'll end up on? That's the question. That is the question. Walking on the ball. Goes all the way back to Akanji here on the right side. Trying to bring the ball forward here into the path of Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne now bringing the ball forward here. Goes out to that right side towards Foden. 1-on-1 against Matson. Manages to find the ball into the box. Keeping Kong Farrell is there. But he parries it into the path of Palmer. And it's now 5-0 here on Cavs Sports Football. It's just getting from bad to worse. And company is just wishing the game ends. It's goal number 5 for Manchester City. Cole Palmer comes on to score the goal. 68th minute here. Manchester City 5, Burnley nil. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Manchester City 5, Burnley nil on the 71st minute here on Car Sports Football. Goes all the way back to Peacock Farrell, who gets away from Alvarez, but it's intercepted by Calvin Phillips. It forced Ashley Barnes, who feeds the first time over the top towards Teller down the left hand side. And Teller's bringing the ball forward here. 1-on-1 against Alvarez, whips the ball in, but Gomez was there, and Manchester City will come away with it here on the right hand side. De Bruyne tries to feed him behind. Can Alvarez get the head of the defender? Yes, he does. He gets himself into the box. He puts the defender down. Left foot. Oh, and his goal number 6 here. His goal number 6 here on Caspor's Football. And Burnley just want to go home. It was a beautiful ball in behind. And Alvarez, Aldakhil, I feel for him. He's absolutely knackered. Alvarez gets there, puts him on the ground. See you later. And makes it 6-0. Goal number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Goal number 6. Boom! Roof of the net. 6-0, wow. Cork now on the ball. Goes backwards. Peacock Farrell now on the ball. Kevin De Bruyne wins the ball back, and Manchester City have it with Alvarez, but the referee pulls it back for a free kick. Burnley have the ball on the halfway line. Vitinho. Roberts. All the way back to the keeper, Peacock Farrell. Aldakhil. Cork. Backwards to the keeper. Approaching the 75th minute. 6-0 here. Wow. Well, that record ain't breaking, is it? Burnley now to take the throwing here with Roberts on this left-hand side. Long throwing towards Ashley Barnes, but it's headed away by Diaz, sorry. It goes out for another Burnley throwing. Roberts. Back to Aldakhil. Peacock Farrell now on the ball. Oh, and Alvarez nearly takes it off him, but it goes out for a goal kick. Peacock Farrell is losing the plot now. Matson has come off and Vitinho for Bastian and Taylor. Here we go with Burnley on the ball here on the left-hand side. Kevin De Bruyne goes backwards. Akanji. Peacock Farrell on the ball. Goes all the way back. Abdullah Dakore and Ellis Sims. Interesting. Burnley trying to play out from the back here on this left-hand side. Roberts. Into the middle there, finds Aldakhil. Backwards to Roberts here on the 78th minute. We got 12 minutes of the 90 to go. Plus added time is Manchester City 6. Burnley 0. Roberts. Tries to clear it away. Nearly loses it to Phillips, but Burnley managed to play out. It's cleared down the line. Can he get there ahead of Akanji? No, he can't. Can Calvin Phillips get there? Yes, he does. But only finds Cullen. Roberts on the ball. Back to Cullen. Looks like Alvarez is playing through the middle now that Erling Haaland's come off. So what's that done to the table? Goes all the way back to the keeper. So what's that done to the table? Where Chelsea? Chelsea move up to 10th. And Everton move up to 15th. Ooh, but Nottingham Forest and Leicester still got to play a game. Interesting. Win, loss, draw, win. Gomez. Into the path of Diaz here on the Shrine side. Diaz finds Akanji. Akanji on the 79th minute. Into the path of Palmer. 1-2 with Gomez. Backwards to Akanji. Ortega. Into Akanji. Akanji on the Shrine side. Goes short to Laporte. Back to Akanji. Short to Gomez, sorry. Back to Ortega on the penalty spot. Man City are just it's just a training exercise now. It is just a training exercise. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? Here we go with Burnley on this left-hand side, trying to bring the ball forward. Is there a consolation goal for him? Let's find out. Pep won't want it to happen. Here we go with Cullen. Not lining one up from distance, is he? No, he doesn't. Plays a 1-2 with Roberts in the middle of the park. Sprays it out to that left-hand side. Now it's one-on-one against Mahrez. Whips the ball in there. And Ortega gets a hand on it and it takes it away from the Burnley player. And it goes out for a throwing down the side side. 81st minute here. Manchester City 6. Burnley nil. Throwing taken quickly. Roberts. All the way backwards. And they managed to get away here. Bashing on the right side. Across the 6-yard box. And it's wide. 82 minutes. Ortega now to restart the game here for Manchester City. Goes into the path of a Kanji here on this right side. Foden. Akanji gets away from Ashley Barnes. Bringing it forward into the path of Laporte here on this right side. Tries to feed the ball over the top, but it comes off the Burnley player and it goes out for a Manchester City throwing. And it goes all the way back to the keeper. Jermaine Genius to give Phil Foden man of the match. Sure he does. Sure he does. What an idiot. Haaland scored a hat-trick. Ortega now in his own box. Into the path of Laporte. Laporte now on this right side. Into the path of Akanji. 436 completed passes here for Man City. Long ball over the top towards Riyad Mahrez, but he miscontrols it. Long ball over the top by his Walker, who goes all the way back to Ortega. I'm just looking at Chelsea. Everton finished 2-2. Finished 2-2. Wow. Chelsea were winning that 2-0 if I recall correctly. Oh no, it was 2-1. Wow, very interesting. Richarlison after picking up an injury. Oh, Richarlison came off injured for Tottenham. Looks like he's gonna free kick you. Damn, Kai Street. 6-0, yeah, tell me about it. Haaland hat trick. Alvarez with a brace. Palmer gets on the score sheet. Foden leaves it to Walker, lays it into the path of Mahrez. Mahrez on the edge of the box. One touch too many. And Burnley now will break here. Gets away from Kyle Walker. Bastion can't keep it alive, but it falls to Ashley Barnes out to the right hand side. Is there a late consolation? No, it's not going to be if you miscontrol it like that. Roberts into Zaruri, who's brought loses the ball to Kevin De Bruyne, and he comes away with the ball and he just drives with it. And Roberts is down and goes out for a throw. Kevin De Bruyne not happy with Zaruri there. Gomez now goes all the way back. Kyle Walker on the ball, 87th minute. Have the City fans gone home already? City fans are going home. How are you winning 6-0 and you're going home early? How is that possible? Yeah, Erling Haaland gets the hat trick. Sorry, man of the match. Laporte hits it out of play because someone's gone down here. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne is limping. So Kevin De Bruyne will come off, 88th minute. And who's coming on? Kevin De Bruyne is limping here. He's not happy with that. He wasn't happy with that challenge. It's going to be Jack Grealish. It's going to get a bit wet. It was just a clash of knees. So he's alright. He looks alright. He looks alright. Ortega on the ball. Walker goes backwards into the path of Akanji. Akanji to Palmer. Leaves it to Grealish. Backwards to Akanji. Can Alvarez get a hat trick? Can they get one last hat trick? Can they get a double hat trick? Let's see. Laporte to Akanji. Alvarez into Akanji. Grealish makes a run off the ball and he goes towards Alvarez on the centre circle. Gomez to Palmer. Palmer gets away, but he goes out for a Man City throwing. Rodri there, chatting away with Haaland. Grealish on the ball. On the touchline. Goes back to Akanji. Akanji into the path of Walker. Walker feeds it into Mahrez. Mahrez cuts it back, but goes out for a Burnley throwing. 2 minutes of added time here. 2 minutes of added time. First yellow card of the match? For Laporte? What a load of nonsense. Oh no, it's Ashley Barnes who got it. Ashley Barnes. Manchester City 6, Burnley nil. Palmer. Laporte. Akanji. Plays a 1-2 with Phillips. And it goes all the way back to Ortega. Just approaching the 92nd minute here on Carl Sports Football. And it looks like he's going to finish Manchester City 6, Burnley nil. Manchester City hitting form at the right time. Just at the right time, as we have, I think, is it just over 10 games left in the Premier League, and obviously they play Bayern Munich in between that as well, and an FA Cup semi-final coming up there as well. So they're just hitting form. Players coming into the team. Foden coming back in, hitting form at the right time. You know, Laporte back in the side, Diaz back in the side. You know, Riyad Mahrez also chipping in, Alvarez getting the goals, Haaland just getting into gear after gear after gear. You're thinking, how many more gears has this guy got left? Ortega keeping clean sheets. So it's a brilliant time for Manchester City, and it's finished 6-0, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna end the stream there. I appreciate every single one of you that came by. Kaistri, Scuba Culture, Kellerick, all of you that came by to the stream. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you tomorrow where we have another FA Cup semi-final, Manchester United against Fulham.